Jesus, there are a lot of pop-ups here. Well, it's a Wikipedia page. What do you expect, Emma? Anywho, so, hi guys. I have been really into the Alice Human Sacrifice, song, the one that fucking Vocaloid made. I've been listening to the English version of that. Really like it. And, I found some nice lore behind it, so, I'm gonna be reading that. Oh, I could do that the whole fucking time. Okay, that's just an ad. Or is that a video? Hold on, it's either an ad or a video, and I want to figure out which one. Okay, so it's a video! Anywho. So, and I'm gonna be doing some stuff about the Alice murders. So, yeah. Wait, hold on. How much of this does this get away? Oh, this gets away like all that. It's not just a video. I have two brain cells collectively. Okay, anyway. The murders follow Alice, who to date is one of the strangest unsolved serial murders in Japan. From 1999 to 2005, 5 murders took place. Deaths. The 5 deaths could have been totally different if it weren't for the calling cards the killer left at each scene. He would leave a card which ranged from killing to death at each scene in obvious places that had Alice written on it in the victim's blood. Very few clues were found at each crime scene, and eventually the case went cold. Below are details of each murder. I'm so gonna butcher these names, so I am sorry in advance. Anyway, let's try. Magi Sakida. The first victim was Magi Sakida, 29, and a restaurant owner. So she was the first one in 1999. Those who knew her described her as a headstrong woman with a short temper and a sharp tongue. When it comes to her employees, she was known to her clients for her excellent cooking and diligence on the job. Outside of work, Magima was very social and often went to parties. It was after a match that she disappeared. She decided to walk to her house from her friends, since she was only a block away. It was too little for her, but she was too drunk to drive. Several people offered to drive her home, but she shrugged. She was seen leaving the party at 1 in the morning, and this is the last time she was spotted alive. The next morning, a couple walking in the forest about a kilometer away from Magima's house saw a large amount of blood on an unused, overgrown patch. Curious, they followed it to find where Makima's body. She had been ripped apart and parts of her impaled on various tree branches. The couple called the police, and it was them who found the game card stuck in Magima's mouth. It was Ace's spade which read the word Alice written on it, as messages above. There was no fingerprints or any DNA samplings that could be found. There was vomit at the scene, but the female of the couple admitted it was hers. Yamaine Oko was a little-known singer in a band who never sung anywhere other than various bars and functions in his community. His friends describe him as a kind-hearted man who never raised his voice off stage. After his death, his band disintegrated because they did not have the heart to find a new singer. Okino was abducted from his apartment February 11th, 2001. His companions were the last people to see him alive since he had practiced with them earlier in the day. That night, his girlfriend came to visit and was surprised to find the house empty. Within a day, a disappearance complaint was filed, and they began to search for him. In the home security video, a hooded figure could be seen entering the side door and exiting with a large garbage bag that was oddly protruding. This strange appearance could not be diminished, and no one could see the strange man in person. Everyone thinks the man is the murderer, but his face is never shown, and there seems to be a bit of a doubt. The following week, the owner of the bar Yoshida, where the band often played, which would be the place to start working, found a horrifying sight. Sunk in a table was Okiro's body. His vocal cords had been ripped from his throat, and he had been shot in the head. His card with the King of Diamonds with the word Alice in English, and it was found clutched in his hands along with his destroyed vocal cords. Oh. Anyways, Kaisara, a young teenage girl. Kaisara had her whole life ahead of her. She was a sweet girl and very loved by her companions and relatives. She wanted to go to college to be a fashion designer, and she was within a week from graduating from high school, so she was like 18. 18. When she was kidnapped, Sakura's family was frantic, trying to find her, and the whole city was talking about the lost girl. Her body was found 2 days later, buried in a shallow grave. It didn't seem like the killer wanted to hide her. On the contrary, she had marked her own grave with her playing card, Alice, the Queen of Clubs. She had been glued to a stick that was glued atop to the top of the grave. Sakura's body had been. Oh, she's talking about the card had been. Oh, I'm dumb. Sakura's body had been horribly mutilated. Her eyes had been carved into her body. Her skin was flaked and her mouth had been carved open. A crown had been sewn into her head, probably when she was still alive. There are no There's no sex crimes committed, either pre or post Magnorton. I'm technically I know what that is. Along with Sakura's body was a messy handwritten note. It contained many disjointed sentences, some of which were illegible. Death is a distorted dream. She will always rule, and ha ha, those who die are the lucky ones, were several sentences that have been written. Among others, a match for writing was never found. Haruto and Hinto Oshino. These two were the last of the murders and the least gruesome. Hanta and Hina were close siblings, quite alike. Hanta was older sister and she was very stubborn. Her younger brother, Hitano, was very smart and had skipped a grade, which made her in the same class as his beloved sister. The two rarely fought as most of the brothers cared for. They were found dead in their beds April 4th, 2005. The cause of death was lethal injection. The children's bedroom window was open and it was detected the killer silently snuck in, killed the two without waking them, and snuck up and snuck back. Each child had an Ace of Hearts playing card, which put together spelled out the word Alice. A heavily stained footprint was found on the carpet, but a closer inspection was made impossible by the serious damage done to the print. This was the only piece of evidence, other than a playing card, left at the scene. A year later, Hunter and Hinato's mother committed suicide out of pain. Her father, who is still alive to this day, is undergoing intensive therapy to overcome the death of his entire family. Right now, he is depressed and extremely medicated. Consequences. Shortly after the Oshino brothers' deaths, a man named Suki Yuno was arrested for the murders. He was mentally challenged homeless man who claimed to not remember where he was at the time of any of the murders. Worst of all, he had been wearing a coat that belonged to Akio Yamada. Some blood on the sleeve tested positive to be yours. Akio, who was delirious at this point, claimed a faceless black demon man gave him the coat. Yakino was released when a homeless shelter 5 miles away from Keida's home claimed to have Yukino on file with him on the night of Sanra's murder. Since there was no way to get to her where she was adopted and noticed and returned without being noticed, Yorino was released. On April 30th, 2008, a producer known as Yami P uploaded his first song to a noise video called Hashi Albino, roughly translated as Alice's Human Sacrifice. The song is believed to be based off the Alice murders. He tells the story of a little dream who draws people into the world and then goes to tell the story of each Alice. The song has a few parallels to each murder. The first Alice, Mikiro's voice, was trapped in the forest, which was where Majime's body was found. The second Alice, voiced by Kinto, was a singer who got killed by a madman. The third Alice, voiced by Hatsume Miku, was beloved, became queen of the country, and took over a distorted dream. The last Alice, voiced by Kim Jong-ren and Len, was a pair of twins considered to be the complete Alice. They were described as a tenuous older sister and a smart younger brother. She also talked about how they had yet to wake up, a possible reference to them dying in their sleep. Also, the suit of cards that they had found with each of the bodies was also mentioned. Young Yama P has not stated for sure if this song has anything to do with the Alice murders, but it is widely assumed about this fact. Then the lyrics translated into English is what they have all here, which are not the actual. If you listen to the English version, it's not going to be. Let me see if I. Yeah. Anyway, it's not correct, but I think it's kind of like that. Hold on. I think. Yeah, I can pull up the video for you guys. Hold on. Give me. Okay, so there's an Old Spice ad. Of course, there's an Old Spice ad. Anywho, so I'm going to be showing you the song in English for that's like connected to all this, and this video is by Ortherisk_Rose. So sorry if I butchered that. And then if you just look up Alice Sacrifices, you'll find a cover, an English cover by Razzie, and Rifscoff.
It's an Old Spice hair rescue worker.
So, yeah.
We're not just rescuing hair health
God.
and hairstyle.
No one cares, Austin. Here, come play this for you now. And wish it up.
Once upon a time, in a place unknown, there was a dream.
No one knew who had trapped the dream, but such a tiny dream it was.
The tiny dream began to think, I don't want to disappear. How can I make people dream of me?
The tiny dream thought, and finally it came up with an idea.
I will let the humans come to me, and then I will make them create my world.
I really like this song. It's a really good song. I love it. And, the 106
Love for Alice walked into the woods of Wonderland. Bravely with a fearsome sword held tightly in her hand, slicing down whatever laid in her unyielding wrath, leaving chaos in her wake by a red bloody path. Then Alice strayed too far, lost within the woods, giving into her sins, looking away for good. Much like the gruesome pet that marked her evil ways, still her life remains a mystery till this very day. Second Alice was a tame and tender gentleman, singing songs of folks who lived in Wonderland. Every day he'd sing away to all the girls and boys, one by one spreading evil slowly with his voice. Whenever he would sing, people gather round. Alice soon got hold of him, shot him dead to the ground. Blood stained the roses to a bright and somber red. Once loved and enjoyed by all, the man was left for dead.
He thought Alice was a lovely girl from Wonderland. Beautiful, the girl was born to a place of love. She drove all the people to her every beck and call. Then she built a kingdom that would rise above them all. Yes, Alice was then crowned, turned into a queen, ruling all the people here, lost in a crazy dream. So afraid of death, the girl was mindless and warm. Once a gorgeous ruler, now she's just a lovely ghost. So the bright forest path is where the journey starts. To party with blue roses, that's where the forest parts. The invite from the queen it actually was the trump card, the ace of hearts. Love with Alice was a pair of siblings who were twins. Straying into Wonderland is where their tale begins. Wandering across the world, they passed through many doors. Curious of this new place, they traveled and explored. The stubborn younger Sharon, the clever older Lyra, were close to see the nature of the true Alice at hand. Both will never wake up from the dream that they had planned. Forever they'll wander hopelessly in Wonderland.
I don't want to play the silly game. I want to do it this way. I want to do it exactly this way.
some voice clips from one of the life series. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh my god, stop. Fucking stop. Good. The mournful soul, Scott, the relentless soul, Pearl, the abandoned soul, Martin, the corrupt soul.
Try the Domino's viral pizza.
What? No, Domino's. You can shove it. Anywho, hope this guy feels, you need for knowledge and what the fuck. We don't talk about my For You page. Anywho, see you all in the next video. Bye.